think I'm gonna do a fall painting today. The temperatures are starting to cool off, so good time to do something like that. I have my palette all laid out with my acrylics, and I have my water and my brushes all laid out here, and I have paper towels, and I'm just picking up some of the liquid gesso. Liquid gesso basically is a white with a binder, and it's a very loose, runny white. My other colors are fairly thick. So let's get started. It's a little too dark, so let's add a little more white to that. And we're just gonna freehand. We're not gonna try to plan anything. We'll just see what happens. Maybe a little darker in this corner. Throw a little white in there, maybe. Some clouds are floating around. And I'm gonna clean my brush. And acrylics, you just clean it with basic water. Easy cleanup. Pick up a little alizarin crimson, some of the whites, maybe clean that brush a little more, just pick up straight white and run that in, and just kind of scumbling it into the sky. And I'm just going in now, just picking up more white, getting it towards the horizon. The gesso just makes it easier to put paint on the canvas and spread it out. And we're just kind of little X strokes, kind of blend things in a little bit. It's on this side, we'll do a little blending. It looks pretty good. Maybe sweep some of that down like it's a little bit blustery day or something. See, it's sort of. All right. Now I'm going to go in some of the greens and yellows. I don't want bright green leaves. It's a fall painting, so we're going to kind of use more yellow than green. A little bit of white mixed into that. Just maybe a touch more of the green here. And maybe, and add some, just touching here and there. I'm just going in straight yellow. You can see the leaves are starting to change. Maybe just a touch of the reds here on this side. Sort of give it a little orangey color towards the shadow side of that tree. All right, let's back into the greens and yellows. Maybe on this side. And this time I'm going to pick up some more of that bright red, more of a cadmium red. Give it, it's still got the yellow on it, so, but you're getting sort of an orange color. Bring that down. And then I'm going to pick up just straight red. Still got the dirty brush. And once we got that, oh, there you go. A little fire in the trees. Some of that bright colors. Then you can still see some of the yellows and the oranges mixed in. There. I'm gonna clean my brush. gonna go to my yellows on one side of the brush. It's maybe a little bit of the green on the other. And I'm just kind of let's go with the, I think we're gonna go in with a little bit of the yellow ochre. Just some. And I'm gonna kind of clean my brush a little bit. This time I'm gonna wipe it off with my paper towels. Get most of the water out. Now it's just more or less a clean, dry brush. And what I'm doing is just trying to bring it up as if there's some tree shapes back here. Way in the background. And then I'm going to pick up a few of the other colors. This is a touch of the red. Maybe there's a bright one right here. And now we're kind of picking out individual trees. I'm not just randomly throwing color on it. I'm going to pick up a little yellow. Maybe. That one is really bright. Let's dull that down just a little bit with the yellow ochre. That's it. And let's see, how about, you know, we still have a few trees that may have some of the greens on it. They're changing, but let's get a little more of that. Oh, let's see. How about some alizarin crimson? You may add just a touch of the white and yellow with that, but keep it fairly dark. Maybe almost like a brownish. That one, it started turning early. I'm gonna clean my brush. And along the bottom. Scumble some of that color out. Pick up a little bit of the gesso, the white gesso. Just put it along that bottom there. And maybe just bring a little bit of that color down. Right across. I'm going to go into my greens and my yellows. And I'm just going to kind of tap along the bottom. Not all the way, just maybe about there. Underneath that tree. And then I'm going to go pick up, same dirty brush, I'm just picking up some yellows with it. And on this side, I'm gonna kind of, you can see there's still some of the greens there, but you've got a lot more yellows as the grass starts turning. And clean my brush, just dry it off. And then I'm going to pull some of that straight down. Maybe, and then I'm going to take some of the blues up in the skies, some of the gessos. I'm going to pull some of those blues under. I'm going to take my big brush, just kind of straight across. Don't want to lose the top, so I just want to right along the shoreline where there's some reflections in the water. Back into my blues, my whites. This time I'm going to pick up a little bit of the heavier white, mix in with it, just to thicken it up a little bit. And I'm gonna just right here, maybe a little pond. And maybe I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the darker blues. And I'm just gonna kind of pull straight across. Just give it a little extra color. All right. I think I'm gonna go in little greens and a little bit of the alizarin. And the green and the sap green, alizarin crimson makes a nice brown. I'm gonna add just a touch of white to that, not much. And I'm going to pull the brush straight down through it so I get a kind of a chiseled edge. And right here, just kind of pull a little bit of a shoreline. Doesn't have to be. You want it to sort of go straight, but you don't have to have it all on one level. That ground can come out. Clean my brush, and just now that's the top I want. I want to keep the bottom by the water more brown, but you're kind of blending that back into where the grasses are. All right, I'm going to take some straight white, and you can do this with a knife. In fact, I think I will pick up some straight white on your brush. It's just on the edge. You can see the top edge, and you can kind of tap it into your white gesso and just pull that water line. In fact, you can hear me tapping it into my palette of white. And right in here, maybe it kind of comes out a little bit here. There we go. All right, got a little background. I'm gonna go into that brown, clean that knife off. Well, I got the knife in my hand. I'm gonna pick up some browns, and I'm doing the same thing, but I'm only picking it up on the top tip of this because I'm just kind of drawing some trunks in, or sticks, twigs, something. You can come in at different angles as if the trunk's coming in sideways. Maybe a couple in here. Oh, let's see. There's some short ones there. And maybe taller one there. Now that I'm using the whole brush, I'm just cutting up. And I'm going to take my brush, and it's got a little bit of yellow, a little bit of the reds, just a little bit of everything on it. And I'm going to a little more of the red in here. And I'm kind of just here and there where time the top of the trunk. You're sort of just seeing little bits and pieces of it. And then I'll pick up some of the yellows and the greens and do the same thing over here. And it's actually picking up some of the browns in the trees. Maybe it looks like a little tree in front of the other one. There. I'm gonna clean my brush, dry it off. And right around here, I'm just gonna kind of lose the base of some of these. Kind of set them down. In fact, I think this one, I'm gonna add a little more color too. Get a little bit of yellow. You know what? I think I need some bright color there. Maybe there's a big bright bush. Yeah, there it is. Nice bright bush in front of that. And we'll add a little bit more here. All right, that looks good. We got a nice little background. And the sky's sort of blustery. So I'm going to take more of the alizarin, a little more of the green. I'm going to make more brown. Then I'm going to add some yellow. Maybe. There's a little hill that comes out here. And that grass is turning brown. Let's pick up a little bit of green. Some yellows. And we're just kind of mixing that in. Bring that out in the water. Basically, I'm now just covering the white of the canvas. That goes out in the water, that comes down there. And let's get a little more yellows, a touch of the greens. Right now I'm just trying to I think I'm going to take my bigger brush. I'm going to dampen it. This is just a 1-inch brush. I'm going to tap it in yellows, a little bit of green in that, some white. Not a lot of white, just, and I'm literally tapping. And then the ends of the bristles are full of it. And I'm just and I'm bringing some of the colors down. And I'll tap up a little bit into some of the yellows. The more you tap it, the softer it's going to get. Let's pick up a touch of the white, some of the yellows, touch of the green. Got a little bit of everything on here. And we got a little bit of green patch still here. And the more colors you get, the more planes you get on them. And the further back it sets everything. Go back into some of the gesso, which is the white. Touch of green. Back into where the yellow was. I'm just tapping in. It's getting more green as I tap. So I add more color to it. And then now I'm just going to go some more yellow. Is going to change that up. There we go. All along that bottom. All I'm doing right now is basically covering the white. Maybe I'm going to pick up a little bit of the reds right through there. Kind of a little separator. Okay, back into the greens, whites, maybe. Here, do you know what? Darker green with a little bit of just the tip. I tapped it in hard into the green. So this part of the brush is got green, but right on the tip there's a little bit of red. And there is a bush there. And back into the greens. Maybe this time we add some yellow to it. And we're going to join those two up. And picked up some of the reds, kind of a orange. Got it right in there. We'll kind of join it in there. Back into my greens. And just a tap of blue, just to sort of cool that color off. I want it still green, but the blue in it, you can see how it Makes it cool over in this corner where maybe it's in shadow. You know, yeah, I'm gonna bring it a little bit down through there. Let's get that corner covered. All right, basically our canvas is covered. So I'm gonna throw that brush into the water. You never wanna let your brushes dry out. Acrylic paint will ruin your brushes if you let it dry out. Okay, let me go back into the alizarin and the greens. I'm gonna make some more browns. Maybe under here. Some browns there. Let me get a little more green to that. A bit darker, darker, darker. And then I'm going to drag one side through. I get the brown on one side, and I dragged it through some of the gesso, the white. So, right here, all of a sudden, we got a big old rock. And maybe another one here. All right, on this side, oh, let's see, we got another one here. Bringing it through the browns again, white on one side, brown on the other. Maybe over here, we got a couple small ones. And well, let's put a, oops, I think we need a little more white there. Lost my highlight color. Yeah, I think that's quite a few rocks right there. I'm going to take a clean brush here, just a clean flat brush here. I'm just going to pull a little bit of that down into the water and then go across. Get some reflections, and of course we need a water line. Let me pick up a little more of the white, and we just cut some water lines across there. All right, I'm going to take that brush, pick up some yellows. Now I'm just banging the brush, trying to open up them. And here I'm going to, right underneath, pull some grasses. Set those down, and just kind of setting them down into the grass there. All right. So let's add some color. It's a fall picture. How about some of the bright reds? And I'm just beating my brush, and I'm picking up a little bit of yellows with it, but you can see how open that brush is right there. And here. Now when you pick out bushes, you want to do individual brushes. You don't want to just start hitting the canvas. There's one. And I'm going into yellow ochre. Now we got a nice bright yellow one. How about a little bit of white to that? We'll give it a little highlight here on top. Maybe here, there's a little bright one right in front. It comes down towards that water. So, let's bring them up a little. I'm going to pick up a little bit of green to that. Maybe up here. Something still hasn't turned with the fall colors. So I've got a nice little bush there. Let's go back to our reds. If we got some bright colors here, maybe we want some more. Oh, there's a nice bright one. Into some of the yellows. Even a touch of the white into the yellows, brighten it up. Maybe here. You can still see it's got some of the reds in it. It's more orange though. Let's go into some of the, maybe the alizarin crimsons. I still got yellow on the brush, so it's gonna give it maybe here. There's just something small growing along here by these rocks. Something bright. I'm gonna touch a little of the blue and the yellow. Touch of the white in there. Just all it is changing the color up a little bit. Get another one there. All right, it's looking pretty good. We can even take our twiggy brush, get it real wet, pick up some of the yellows, browns, yellows, and whatever, and maybe pick up some grasses that grow along these shorelines. If it doesn't come off your brush, add more water, get it loose. All right, that looks good. Let's wash that twig. All right, let's go and get some green. Maybe some alizarin. Let's make some more of that brown. You can buy brown. I may have some around here somewhere, but I didn't put any on my palette, so I'm just, this works real well. Alizarin crimson and sap green. Makes a beautiful brown. And here, I'm kind of shaky here. If you got a shaky hand, that's good. You kind of, this paint is almost running down my palette. How loose I have it. It's almost like ink. Let's make that, give it a little stronger trunk here. Bring that out. Oh, let's see. Maybe a branch comes out here. All right. Wash that brush. And same dirty brush, but I'm just picking up on the tip some bright red. There might be a little yellow in there. I'm just barely touching here and there. Real, just, I mean, it's, that brush is wide open and I'm just barely touching. Back into my reds, just pick up a little more paint. Yeah. Get a little more on top here. And we can even put a few down here, that color. Maybe some of the leaves have fallen off. So, stand back, look at your painting, see where you might need some more. Maybe a tad there, and right there. Well, I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty colorful. I'm gonna go into some whites and the alizarin crimson. Maybe over here. There's a deeper red shrub. I think this time I want to clean my brush. I'm going to grab some of my bright yellow. I've sort of run out of my bright yellow. I want to add a little bit of bright color in here. Okay. Dry that brush. bit of the white, but not much. A little of the gesso. Mostly it's yellow, bright yellow, straight bright yellow. And maybe it's something there. More of the gesso down here. And all I'm doing is I'm beating the brush so that the tips are wide open, touching, giving it a little upward push. And then for the grass, you can just sort of tap some highlights in. Okay, I'm gonna take that yellow, run it through some of the gesso. And now I'm just tapping. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the browns. Touch of the greens. Just kind of alternating different colors. And I'm gonna pushing up. Maybe a green bush still lingers there. And I'm gonna go back into my reds. This is bright red here. We got a nice bright one right here in this corner. And you can see how you've got the different separations of different colors. And I'm cleaning my brush. Over on the other side. I'm taking some of the gesso and some of the yellow ochre. That's the darker yellow. And I can see I still have a little bit of the red in there, but it's, so you got some oranges. And let's go in with some of the bright yellows underneath. And then maybe we'll go into some of the browns and greens. We'll darken that corner a little bit. Kind of brings the eye in. You see I got a hair there. I'm gonna just take a clean brush, kind of lift it off. Okay. It's looking pretty good. You need a little color up here in front. So I'm going to touch some of the reds, some of the yellows. Maybe get a nice orange. Let's see. Maybe something's growing right in there. Yeah. Just clean. Kind of tap the bottoms. I think I'm going to pick up some of the greens and yellows. A little bit of the white. A bigger brush, you can keep tapping until it's nice and smooth. You got a nice little, maybe that walks in there. Nice place for the fisherman to go who was fishing. All right, where's my twiggy brush? And maybe some of the browns. Maybe here, there's a little twig that comes out. Yeah. Just tap on the bottom, kind of Put that in. I'm gonna go into my bright reds. I wanna maybe a little there. Just something right here at the base of that tree. Give it something. Bring a little color out there. You can even take a little bit of the browns. Maybe. Give us a little. Maybe there was a pathway there at one time and it's sort of overgrown. Let's take a little more. And it sort of disappears back in there. Just a touch of the white, maybe. Not much, just highlight. So it looks like maybe there was an old path there at one time where the fishermen would go in there and fish. And that's it. Stand back, take a look, see if there's anything else you need. Maybe I'm going to take some of the bright red. Just pound that in. Maybe on just the tips there. Yeah. A couple of them are just on the side the light's coming in. And just a few highlights. There, that looks good. Okay. I think this one is ready to sign. I see something here. I was looking up here. I think I'll take a touch of that brown over here, that tree right there. I want to bring his trunk down a little, sort of hide it back in there. All right. Okay, let's sign this one. And I think we have another finished painting here. Should we put our bird up there? Get some of our dark colors, some of our greens, our blues, our alizarans. Maybe. That brush nice and wet. Oh, let's see, where do I want him? I think we're just gonna have one bird today. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we got an eagle or something coming in. I hope you enjoyed that.